I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in signs to let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I can play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me. Then I double up again, none of their knows, none of them cold. They just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Startup on the Blocks. We're happy to be here tonight. We had a little trouble with the networking, but we're going to move and press on. John and Jessica, if you would come on stage. How's it going, John? How's it going, Jesse?
It's going well. It's going well. Great to see you.
For inviting us.
Definitely. We want to make sure the folks in our startup ecosystem here in Northwest Florida and around the world know what's going on. First, typically when we do the networking for the first hour, and then we do the stage on the second hour. And for some reason tonight, the networking wasn't working. So, but that's only the second time since August we've been doing this that it didn't work. So I don't think that's too bad, but we appreciate the patience of everyone. So looks like now it probably will work because it's actually showing the number of people here. So
absolutely,
yeah. So that's fantastic. But welcome everyone out there looking and viewing us. We do this Startup on the Blocks every Thursday from 6 to 8 Central Time. And it's all about just trying to create this startup ecosystem and a place where people who are interested in networking, and learn about, what it takes to build a great startup. That's the reason why we do this. And so we appreciate John and Jessica's participation, and we wanted to bring them on to kind of give an update of how they've been taking advantage of the ecosystem in the past few months. So Jessica and John, would you all go ahead and reintroduce yourselves again?
Okay, well, I'm John Rigsby, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Eduosity.
And my name is Dr. Griffin, and I am the president and co-founder of Eduosity.
Great. So We, like with Startup on the Blocks, we try to make everybody who's connected to us aware of the opportunities. And we do that through our Facebook page, post Startup on the Blocks on Facebook page. And we also send out a weekly newsletter with some links into opportunities for funding, pitch competitions, newsletter signups, just all kind of things that are out there available for folks trying to turn their idea into a minimal viable product, or trying to for funding opportunities, and those are always great. And I posted one today, and I think it was for kind of like doing some marketing and branding, and it was targeting BIPOC or black founders. So that's another good example. So, but that deadline is tomorrow. So so if you all are interested in getting a total rebranding, I just saw our streaming thing. It looks like it was acting a little strange, but I hope it's broadcasting good. But that's a perfect example of different opportunities that are out there. So tell us a little bit about Edgewosity and how you all have been leveraging the Startup on the Blocks and the ecosystem and all that stuff, all the connections we've been doing to help you all out.
Well, I mean, first of all, that's a lot. Edgewosity, of course, is an education technology firm here based in Pensacola, Florida. And we're the developers of a new technology and a new system that's dedicated to improving educational outcomes in K through 12 environments, in particular within urban communities. So we developed a very advanced software, and we offer that software as a service to school districts around the country. Doc, you have some more you want to add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to say, in just being and introducing Edgewosity as software as a service with our micro content courses, one of the greatest assets I think Lloyd Startup on the Blocks has given John and I access to all of these pitch competitions I've been so busy with. Being in the G Beta program has afforded us the opportunity to get access. And with that access, it has allowed us to really perfect our pitch. And one of the things that John and I have found, just being, we've been in the business for a very long time. Edgewosity is not our this process has done for us as founders is allowed us to really perfect our pitch and hone in on those areas that we never even thought about, because you have to think a certain way when you're talking about participating in a pitch, participating in any kind of startup program like G Beta or Accelerator. G Beta are designed for startups, whether it's tech or program or entities that are just to kind of shape and better improve the quality of. And so we are just really happy that we're able to participate in this process.
Yeah, so you all been working on Edgewosity for a while. So would you contrast the help you all were getting before Startup on the Blocks as compared to now?
Well, we were getting no help before. We spent a number of years actually just concentrating on the development of the product. We filed a patent on our particular software in November of 2017.
Okay.
Right.
It's now May of 2021. And we just received our notice of allowance on our patent last week. So the journey for entrepreneurship is a long one, and as much help meet as you can get, you certainly do need to try to receive it. One of the things that we've learned is remain teachable. Jessica said this is not our first business. We've been in business for quite some time. But the humility associated with remaining teachable is a sound asset that anyone and everyone, don't ever get so smart that nobody can tell you anything, or you're not prepared to receive quality information from someone who knows what they're speaking of.
Yeah. And I want to also add to what John is saying, which is so critical, to just have a teachable mindset. One of the things that has helped us in participating in this process, Lloyd, is the fact that when you can't be fearful of, even if you don't know what to expect. Some people are, especially Black and brown entrepreneurs and startups, so fearful of just stepping out into the deep because they feel like I know enough about my product. I don't really know what I want to do, but this is why this kind of environment is so great, because it helps you mold and shape your idea and bring it out to individuals that on it. So that's what we've been able to do a lot better. We've been able to take our product, like John said, we've been doing this 2017 and actually reshaping it for it to be a better and more improved product process for us. So now we can really speak to what our revenue model looks like, what our traction model looks like. And I know I'm throwing around these terms, but revenue meaning how much bring in to our business, and meaning what is the area that we have been targeting and to get our product to market. So we've learned a lot about how to do this because we are in these venues. You've helped us tremendously by mentoring us to help us understand which different pitch programs we should. Has really been helpful.
Yes. So the idea. So the reason you would want to enter a pitch competition, I think it's probably more than one, but to kind of get some feedback from your pitch, but also you want to, if there's money associated with it, you want to win a prize. But you have to apply just to kind of see what it takes to get into a pitch competition and see what questions they're asking, and in order to kind of just make yourself more aware. But so I think you all mentioned back January, February, you all applied for one of the generator pitches thing. So how did that work out?
Well, we applied for an accelerator program, the On-Ramp Education and Workforce Innovation Accelerator. We were accepted into the process, getting through the first phase. And today, we actually had an interview with that pitch competition committee. We actually today had an opportunity to meet with one of the orchestrators who was in charge of $150 million education fund for investment. So you don't get connected to the process. And Jessica and I, we often talk about friend raising that helps you toward fundraising, and that kind of relationship networking processing has to be essential, has to be an essential part of your thinking as you're building forward. So if you're thinking in terms of a business, you want to think in terms of partnerships, relationships, networks that can help you along the way. I always used to tell me, if you want to know something, ask somebody that knows something. Or knows what they say they know, so typically is used.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, yes, and so so I guess on that same point, a lot of time people get advice on their business stuff and what they're doing, but you definitely need to be asking somebody that's got some experience in it. But I think I want you, if you remember what I basically remember, one of the events that Generator had, back in February, they were letting Black founders pitch to a bunch of investors, Do y'all remember that? But
We don't. We don't. We did not participate in that particular round. We've done a couple of things with Generator so far. The Black and Brown Founders proposition is a great one, in particular for startups, primarily because there's an ease of access. They create the environment so it's non-confrontational. It is there for you to learn and present the winning proposition for your idea, your concept, or otherwise. The other thing is you don't necessarily have to have a company at this.
Right, just an idea.
Just an idea. Jessica and I, we happen to have a company associated with what it is that we're offering in the way of a product, because we understood where we were trying to go, where we were working towards going. So there are a lot of little dynamics in the middle of that. And Lord, if you remember last year sometime, you and I were talking. And this is the power of that networking and relationship building. And you and I were talking about financial models.
yes.
And you were telling me, you said, John, get some letters, you can get some interest letters from the clients and the people that you've been talking to, and use that as a part of that build out. Well, what we did is we actually followed that advisement that Lloyd had given us. And when we did that, it helped us. We now have in the traction space, probably about 100,000 plus students. That 100,000 students equals out to more than $50 million in potential revenue for us. Now that's even prior to the launching of the actual software. But
and that's only 8 schools.
So that's a powerful platform. Just go ahead on.
No, I was saying that's only 8 districts that we targeted, and with those 8 districts, it totals 101,000 students. And now this upcoming week, we have meetings with 4 additional school districts, which will give us an additional 439,000 students. That is a big traction.
Yeah. And so I think the idea here is like, so traction is sometimes a question on a pitch competition. Like, or accelerator program. When you're applying for accelerator program, and so the ecosystem works with you no matter what stage you're at, and they have different programs for different stages. And so what the deal is if you haven't built your product yet, and it's not on the market, you won't have any you won't have customers per se. But the whole idea is to engage with the customer at every stage of your process of your journey. If you stay engaged with the customer, then you get that feedback, and then you can keep consider. That's really one of the key things you can do, and typically. But I think along with your you haven't released your software or anything yet, but have you been demoing what just doing demos of what the end product would look like with these?
Yeah. What we typically do is we demonstrate the product for school districts, for superintendents and those decision makers within school districts. Our effort is over the next, we're going to beta test our last version of our software from August to November, where we'll collect additional data for the software for a full launch of the software in January of 2022. It's really, really a big deal, not just for Eduosity, but for Black and Brown companies.
Right.
It really is a really exciting time, especially coming off of the pandemic and much of the learning loss that has occurred due to the interaction or the lack of interaction with virtual learning environments.
Yeah.
So,
I think another difference is is like with all the statistics out there about fundraising venture capital for Black and Brown founders. Less than 1% of the funding was going to Black and Brown founders. But what I noticed even before that, even though there may not have been a lot of seed funding out there at the venture capital stage. There are still a lot of programs that you could get in no matter what your skin color was and get training. But what's significant now, as opposed to a year ago, after the George Floyd shooting, not the shooting, but the killing, the big companies start setting aside funds for Black people with to get them in going here, and it's a combination of Black people, Hispanic people, and so I mentioned last week when Kelly was on that had got up, it's well over $4 billion now, and so now So what our job is with Startup on the Blocks is just to connect you with some of those opportunities, and so that's kind of what the deal is.
And I wanted to say, Lloyd, what you're saying, this is why we are putting in place the ecosystem for Black and brown startups, so they can have some understanding of what it takes when they have an idea, and then they can go through the process to launching. And with that ecosystem, we have all of the elements, all the organizations, whether it's a program like G-Beta, or if it's like John said, blackfounders.org, where you can go and pick your idea. But we've got a lot of entities that are available for Black and brown startups that they can use as a support. I know that people like to go to their chambers. Sometimes have some avenues for assistance, but what we're doing, we are going around Northwest Florida to identify all of these entities for Black and brown companies, startups. So that's what we're putting in place. One of the great things, and I advocate about participating in the pitch process. It will help streamline you from going in. It would really keep you on track with how you should be developing your business acumen, your business model, your resources, how you should be identifying, friend raising, as John spoke to earlier. It will help you, guide you through all of the things. And then you'll have the individuals who will help you, just like what you're doing with the mentors, what you're doing with having access to pitches, and then being able to get a prize. I mean, John and I are going to be participating in your competition if we are selected. I don't know if we're going to be selected, but at least submit it. But I think we should never miss an opportunity.
So that and I'm going to go into that a little later, but it's you have to learn the kind of resources that are in the ecosystem and how they work, and so. But I think I want to make sure people understand. So so in your case, you all's case, what led to you all getting all these opportunities to go pitch and apply for the accelerator programs?
Well, what led to it is first of all to start, Lloyd. I mean, the hardest part sometimes about being Black and brown in the way of a founder, business person is actually starting. The pitch competitions, the organizations like the one you have here with Startups on the Block are perfect places to start, because and that's what ultimately will lead you to a higher grade. The one we just did today has $100,000 non-dilutive funding associated with it. That means they're going to give us $100,000 just for participating in their accelerator program. That connects us to a broader range of money as we begin to do our first seed round, where we're looking to raise $5 million. So that there's a bridge that you cross. Sometimes the smaller bridges onto the longer bridges.
So like I guess what I was getting at, that sounds really good, but if I remember right, I thought you all applied for something related in the generator program, and then all of a sudden you start getting all these emails and these opportunities to enter these pitch competitions.
Yeah, we first of all went through the on-ramp. We went to the on-ramp workforce innovation and education because our space is education.
Yes,
So
but when did you first apply for that?
It was
I want to say
February. It was during that time. We did. We've done so many pitches, Lloyd. We did, John. We had our first pitch was with on-ramp, and when we did that pitch, we were able to come back to do the pitch that we did today.
Yeah, but I think I guess the big point is by getting in that generator database, all of a sudden you get opportunities from all over the United States.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of money out there, Lloyd. There's a lot of money. Goldman Sachs just released, I think they're spending $10 billion to get behind 1 million Black women.
Yes,
So you think about that's $10 billion that they're saying we're going to push the idea of not only Black women in entrepreneurship, but families, communities, education, and otherwise.
That's right.
But it presupposes that we will get up and go after those dollars.
But so the deal is you have to. So the ecosystem around these startups, it's kind of based on. If you kind of think about it, there's a language that's used, and so like if I'm a venture capitalist and I want to invest in your company, or if I want to give you a grant for $100,000 for getting trained in this program, I want to know that you did your due diligence. I want to know you've been working on your idea, and I want to know you following the best practices for building the startup, and you doing it on a really good foundation. And so Startup on the Blocks, the idea behind that was that when you have an idea and you're not sure what to do, what we don't want you to do, we don't want you to reinvent the wheel. There's already things we know that we know work and that we know what you should do, and so like the lean startup methodology is the process that the ecosystem uses to grow startups. You start from an idea, and then you move that into a concept, so like when you got an idea, you start refining that idea about talking to customers, potential customers, to see what their problem is. So you don't just automatically come up with a solution. You normally come up with an idea after you saw a problem.
That's right.
And so in you all's case, what problem did you all see that led you all to start working on Edgewosity?
Well, software was built around the idea of engagement within the virtual environment. The problem that school districts are having is disengagement from virtual environments. The other issue is issues of Black and brown instructors within classrooms. The other issue is cultural engagement with reference to education and training services. So we solved quite a number of those, as well as the flexibility and the agility of virtual learning spaces. That's what we were attacking with the development of our micro content.
Yeah. So you had some experience out there with students that enable you to see this problem. So Jessica, you actually worked in the school system at one time?
I worked as an assistant principal for a charter school in Skim, and so currently am an adjunct instructor at the University of West Florida. And John is absolutely right about the disengagement. My students use Canvas, and I can tell you they are so disconnected. I literally had to come up with creative ways just to keep my students who are on the graduate level, keep them engaged, because they simply were so disconnected. So doing with them is just having them create things like Zoom calls, or we do videos. And I used to do something called wrap up at the end of each week. My students, where I do a Zoom call and we do a wrap up, because my students were just candid. They were just like, listen, this is a place where you just dump in a lot of information. And when you think about the learning management systems that are available on some of the top ones like Google, Classroom, Schoology, Canvas, Edmodo, all of these LMSs are just a lot of data. You can get educational platforms, but they're not engaging. They're not multicultural, engaged. They're not English translation. They don't go from English to Spanish to English to French. So students that where their language, English is their second, can't even understand a lot of the data that's utilized in some of these learning management systems. And so what micro content courses does, because we have language translation, students can translate to their native language and learn about concepts that they understand in the classroom in bites and not all hours and hours upon hours of information. So we really grasp understanding of what K through 12 environments need, and we've addressed that in micro content courses.
So let's just take the kind of lesson learned or the takeaway for all the founders or people out there that's got these ideas and that are going to pitch. It's just like you typically start working on an idea that you have some experience with, and that you spot a problem and a dilemma. And so that's where you start, and you start engaging with those users, potential users and potential customers of that, and building those relationships from day one. And so but with the startup ecosystem, so the message for the startup ecosystem is that no matter what your idea is, and no matter, if it's, even if you haven't even wrote it down anywhere, if you start working on it, you're in essence a founder. But you have to, get into the ecosystem and learn and get trained on how to build a startup. And so one of the dilemmas that we've been seeing locally, and what Blanca talked about a couple of weeks ago, was, people have jobs, they have kids, they may be out of work, but they may have the ideas, but they're so burdened down with all this stuff. But the idea of the startup ecosystem, you just start working on it, with whatever amount of time you have, and just keep following the step-by-step process to kind of move forward. And so typically, a lot of founders, they come up with ideas and they have jobs, or they might be a professor, but they don't just, some of them quit the job, but you shouldn't just quit the job. What you should do is just keep developing that idea until you get some traction, and then you have the confidence to step out on your own. But we're not asking you to quit your business that you're in. We're not asking you to quit your schooling. We're not asking you to do that. We're just asking you to start working on your idea, because all this funding is out there, all this help is out there. You should take advantage of it and learn. It's just like going to school to learn. So like my first accelerator program, it was 12 weeks, but it was like going to graduate school, for a year. It was really intense. And so, but the idea is, and so with COVID this past year, most all the programs went virtual. And so you didn't even have to worry about, leaving to go anywhere to do anything. And I got a strong feeling that a lot of these programs are going to continue some form of, and maybe even hybrid. And some of them you can it's just that don't make any excuse to start working on your idea when all this free help and stuff is out there to kind of help you move forward. So you also been doing some mentoring of other companies, and that's part of our local ecosystems, like the spring has the VMS program, and so, but that's for companies already making money. But so that's a program when you do get going. The collab, I think you have to kind of be pretty close to making money if you're not making money to take advantage of what they're offering. 1 million cups, that's how we do that on the first Wednesday of each month. And that's just where you just get up and do a presentation about your idea, and you get feedback to help move you forward. And I guess I want to also mention, like Carlos, he's been attending these events, so he's been learning. And yesterday he got congratulated on all the progress that he's been making. Because what he's been learning from through coming to Startup on the Blocks, going to 1 million cups, all this stuff is virtual too. So that's, you can actually start from no matter where you are, or you can start from there and just keep working on your idea. But the only way you're going to really understand the ecosystem, you just got to jump in and start learning. And in a little bit here, I'll show you what we do to help founders out. And we target Black and brown founders, but believe it or not, I actually mentor more white people than I do Black people. But the bottom line is it's just you have to it's an ecosystem. We all help each other out. To kind of move forward.
Yeah.
And that's the same, I think, for all of us. I think that's the same for all of us, Lloyd. Because practically there are more white people in business. Yeah. Also, the thing about asking for help when you need it, when you have a new idea, you have a concept. I remember a time when people used to say, "Hey, don't talk about your idea. Don't share your idea. Somebody might steal it." And believe it or not, a lot of people still operate in that space.
They
a lot of people operate in a space where they keep everything close to the vest. So you could be sitting next to somebody that has one of the greatest ideas ever told, but you would never know it because they have it locked away.
I just goes back to, and this is my encouragement today, especially for Black and brown, just take the step forward and ask questions and start up on the blocks. Ask for a mentor, someone that you can work with one-on-one and get that comfortability, and let's just help you get to where you need to be so you can go and talk about your idea, vet it, elements that you need to go to the next level. This is what startups should do. This is what people that have ideas should do. I think comfortable, then you can begin to build. But I think it all starts with comfortability, Lloyd. I think that's why we don't have a lot of people participating. I know that I shared what we're doing here at Blocks with several individuals that launch businesses. And then they share with me, well, I just wasn't comfortable. I'm gonna try next time. And next time will never come. Not you gain confidence about your competency. And I think being in an environment like this will allow and afford a person to build that stamina, that confidence level that they need, because they're learning and gaining the knowledge, skills, abilities that they need to be effective as they're developing their idea.
Yes. So a lot of the things that I learned through participating in all the different in the ecosystem programs and stuff, founders or startup founders or people trying to do a business, they ask questions and so. And it makes me think, because I learned just as much, and you don't realize what's missing sometimes until somebody asks you a question.
That's right.
So one of the things for me is several times I would ask the question, and one thing I was at the UWF at the Veterans Entrepreneurship Program. So if you're a veteran, there's so many programs for veteran entrepreneurs. That Veteran Entrepreneurship Program has been going on here in Northwest Florida for, the past, I don't know, at least 6 or 7 years. And so it's just, it doesn't cost you as a veteran anything to participate in the program. But I was in one of those sessions one time. The guy said, "Well, I keep coming up with all these ideas. How do I, what do I do? How do I evaluate them?" And so from that, I started looking for solutions to kind of processes that you can actually use to evaluate an idea. And so like David Musselwhite is on, and he created this chart that shows you, like if you're at the idea stage, these are the resources here to help you. If you at the concept stage, these are the things here to help you. But the problem is, as you go down there, if you're not getting the right feedback from your customer, you go back to that idea and refine that idea based on what the customer problem really is. And so that's what the idea is. So that's why I tell people, I don't care what your idea is. If you start using this proven methodology to move it forward, that's what's important. And so getting into the ecosystem. So one of the things I came across was the startup rocket thing. But the reason why I came, part of the way I found that was, because so what I would do, let's say if I came up with a second idea and I wanted to start another company, I would go into another accelerator program because they lead you through the process, and I said, well, that's but a lot of these accelerator programs, they're loose and wild. They're not as formal as you think. And so what I liked when I came across Startup Rocket was it had, all the things you should do at the idea stage, and including the customer engagement, and you have to validate, that part of it. So you had the idea, and then you have the next part. You have to validate that idea, and so you have to do all these tasks to validate that idea. And until you didn't start building anything, you don't start building anything until you got that idea validated. And then the next step, you start building your MVP. And then once you complete that, then you start trying to grow. So and then then expand with some seed funding. But the main thing is you got a guide for every step of the way to move forward. And then so that's what the significance of that too. And I'll show it to you all in a minute here. But then let me just share my screen. If you don't mind hanging out, hanging with me while I show some of this stuff out. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. I'll start off with this Spark XYZ. So this is the platform that we use to for our pitch competitions, and we can also put our accelerator programs up here. So a lot of you all that apply for this particular pitch competition that we got next week, you may not have realized that this platform is a place where all these different accelerator programs all over the world can host their applications for pitch competitions and accelerator programs. But in order to apply for so these are some of the applications that are out there now on this platform. So, but before you can apply for one of these applications, you actually have to set up your venture, your startup. So it'll ask you to when you get an app like the pitch application, it said I sent you the link to apply for it. But if you don't have a company set up in this platform, you have to create one and then apply for the pitch competition. but one of the reasons why these platforms are out there is because once you get involved with these platforms, you can they have this particular one. The reason why we chose it, once you get involved with our like our program, we bring you in as a portfolio company, and then you get access to all these the free benefits that are some of them are just discounts, but that are out there. So these down here, you have to be part of one of the portfolio companies, but and these are free to anybody that do it. So now that you apply for the pitch competition, you can kind of breeze through this site and see what stuff is available out there, and take advantage of some of those discount. And so I think I did the Airtable one, and it gives you a couple $1,000 worth of for to use Airtable. Amazon, I think it gives you a couple thousand as well on here. And so that's how we use this thing. But this particular one also has e-learning. So like once you get involved in this, so you have access to all this training that is on this site as well to learn. So you don't have to wait for Startup on the Blocks. You got all these all these training things that are there. So that gives you a little bit idea about this one. So the one I was just talking about a minute ago is called Startup Rocket. And so when you with Startup on the Blocks, we have an organization, the KuKua Institute, and so we can onboard startups on there. So like so we offer this at no charge, but if you go out and sign up now, you have to pay like $40 a month. For my company, I have a paid account, but back when I signed up for it, it was only like $5 a month. But yes, so this is a good value. So like you can see, you have this idea stage, and then you do all these things in the idea stage, and you document all the stuff. Like this one is market size, and so the why what you're doing, how just go on and on, and then when you finish the idea stage, then you go into the validate stage, and it's just a sequential process that you actually go through to kind of do. And so all the the people the finalists that were in our first quarterly pitch competition, we do the pitch competition each quarter, and so they got access to this system, but I'm not sure if they understand the significance of this. So when you got an idea, this is your step-by-step process to get to where you want to go, and you can, and it's got all the help you need at each step to move forward. And then you can invite your mentor into the system and let them help you see what you're doing, because I can if somebody come to me and they've created a product and they're trying to make it grow and they're having issues, I can guarantee you I can point back something here at this idea and validate stage that they didn't do. And when you don't do this, you actually, it's like when you get here and you done built something and you're trying to grow it, but you can't grow it because it's built on a bad foundation.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the purpose of this tool. And it also will create a timeline for you, for you to actually work on it. But you work on it at your own pace. But you can get through it as fast as you want. But it's typically designed to take about 3 months to kind of get through it. But you can take longer if you want. But at least the process here and the approach is, you don't think about all these steps here. You just work on the step by step. And knock out all this stuff, and eventually you'll get to these places over here. But there's help for you at all these stages in this process. Okay, so the other tool that we use is the Lean Time IO, And the KuKua Institute, we have this, and we let our startups use this as well. And so it actually has a lean canvas in it. And so this is your one-page business plan, and you spend about 20 minutes on this to kind of make sure you got all the components of your idea. But the key thing about this too is if you when you look at it, and whenever you do a pitch application or accelerator program application or a pitch deck, it's answering every question that's in here. So this is your foundation for your pitch. So if you're doing a pitch and you're not describing these key things in your pitch, this is what the ecosystem is looking for. And so you have to learn what each one of these things mean. And so but it has a lot to it. You can put your to-dos on here. You can then you can time the milestones. You can keep track of time where you spend on a project. You can, if you have ideas, you can document those. And then if you do finish doing something, you can do your lesson learn right there. So the other thing we do with our startups is we refer them to this startup library. This is made by by Y Combinator. All the content since 2005 is in this library. Any question you could ever have about being a startup is in this library. So this is the number one thing you should do right here. If you're trying to build a startup, you should go, no matter what stage you're at, you should go register at startupschool.org and go through their curriculum. And no matter what stage you are, you should go do this thing, because you will learn the stuff you forgot, or you didn't ever know. And that's what this thing is. So I hope you all are making note that the ones who are new, there's no cost for this. You can register at any time, and it's got the whole curriculum for the startup. And then once you can register as a future founder, or they call it an aspiring founder now. And then you can convert to a regular founder, but it's all the same content. In the future, the aspiring founder is just the beginning. It'll show you all those things that all those excuses you're making for not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, let's see. So earlier, a couple of months ago, some organizations received $1.4 million grant to help Black and brown startups all across the Southeast. So if you're in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, South Carolina, North Carolina, you can register your startup at, if my internet speeds up a little bit here. So if you're an entrepreneur, and you can go ahead and register here, and you can get help from this organization. So this is like a 2-year grant. So do this too, because you can take advantage of this free resource as well. So like on our weekly newsletter that we send out, we always have the link for our next event. We have the link for the videos from our last event, and then so here are some networking and links for founders. So for founders of color, there's so much, all these links. So you definitely want to pay attention to some of these links. And each week, some of these stay here, but every now and then there's some new ones. So this is the site I was just showing you. I'll put that in there, so you can. But a lot of people, they don't realize the significance of some of these things. So I sent this out earlier this week, and here's a thing, for a 300K challenge, and it's just, opportunity after opportunity. And then so I reiterate some of so this particular link here, it has 742 things in the ecosystem that you can actually take advantage of or get help from and get connected to. We local spring collabs, 1 million cups. Just a link to the startup school again. You can use this application here for your to start this startup, so you can send folks there. You should definitely register with this site if you're not a coder, because there's so many tools out there to help you prototype or build your MVP without having to do any coding. Kelly was on last week from Tech Farms Capital, telling you about their program. But find some newsletters to subscribe to, and because they have a lot of these links I get from these newsletters that I'm signed up for. So it's a really neat thing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and we can do. I'll let you. Let me see if I can get to the right screen here. Might be. Want to do the stuff about the pitch announcement. So let me get. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and reshare it so we can get this up. I want to announce all the information about the pitch competition. So let me try to get it back up again. All righty. So Startup on the Blocks is a program from the KuKua Institute. We're a nonprofit, and we took on this activity to try to help folks build some wealth so we can reduce the wealth gap. And we couldn't do it without all the partners and help that we get from these sponsors and partners. And John, you and Jessica, you all join in and helping us with the ecosystem to kind of move things forward. We definitely appreciate that. Absolutely. So let's see what this next slide is. Okay, so next Thursday, a week from today, we're gonna have 5 finalists for the feature finalists compete for this first and second place prize here, and then for the folks that are in a pilot cohort, they're gonna compete for the same prize amount. But some of the perks you get, like if you win first prize in the pitch competition next week, you're going to get a membership at the Greater Pensacola Chamber and the Gulf Coast Minority Chamber. And plus, one of our partners, Bantucola, you're going to be able to get a listing in there. And then the second prize will also get a listing in the Bantucola the Black Business Directory. So this is the surprise announcement tonight. We had, for our future and current finalists, we had 17 semifinalists. So what we're going to do, we're going to invite them to use some of our resources, like that Startup Rocket, and also the Lean Time IO thing, and plus develop some mentoring and also some perks. So you all ready for the drum roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, Lord.
We're ready.
All right. So here we go for our future founders. Jesse, you're got in the top 5. Bank Shop, Lamp Press, Troy Watts with Dribble, and Mia Bolden with Bungee Fitness. And also we had 2 alternates, just in case some folks up here can't participate. And for our pilot cohort, Tia with Taste of Pensacola, Dylan with Enjoy, Sabrina with Estimate My Project, Quinn with the No, and Greg with that, and then Creative Styles, and also OGMA with Grover Brown. So the thing I want to mention, about this is And so next time, what we'll do in our next pitch competition after this one, we'll make sure everybody knows what a 250 word pitch, should look like. So you don't have any questions. So you can make sure you incorporate some of those things that are in that lean canvas, and because that's really critical for getting your idea across. And some people actually took the time to fill out their profile. We didn't require it, but it took time to fill out their profile in the Spark XYZ, which is good. So we could actually learn more about your company. But we really appreciate you all applying. And so when you attend events like this, you can learn the kind of stuff and what it needs to kind of go forward. And let's see, one more. Let's see. Yeah, and so the KuKua Institute, we got a lot of supporters, and without them, we wouldn't be able to kind of do these programs. But the key thing that I want everybody to remember is that you just have to start applying for stuff, start participating, because that's the only way you become aware. And there's so much stuff out there, and it just keeps growing and growing to help you. And it does, no matter what your stage, no matter if you got a job, you just got to start paying attention and just start plugging away. Just do a little bit each day to keep working on your idea. You all got any final thoughts?
I agree with you, Lloyd. I mean, educate. When you have an idea, I think that is the one thing that I'm walking away from as John and I go through this process of pitching, as well as mentoring, as well as being mentored. Just educating ourselves about the process, because there's a different way. We're doing things differently in this environment. In your environment, we can't. It's not business as usual. We have to operate in different mindsets. So I think that startups, people with ideas, should just always remember, you just have to take the first step, and you might get it right, but that's why you have mentors in place that can help shape, mold your idea and help you go to the next level.
Yes, that's right. Any comments, John?
Well, the key is to start.
Yes.
So you cannot achieve any of your highest goals without first starting. And I would encourage everyone, if you do have a great idea, to write it down. Try not to walk around with the greatest idea in the world in your head.
Yep. Walk around with one of these.
It costs $1 for a marble tablet from the dollar.
$1.
So there's never an excuse not to be able to have some kind of a functioning apparatus with you that you can mark your ideas down, draw your prototype out, all those different great things.
So you don't have to be fancy.
You don't have to be fancy.
Yes, and so all those finalists, and we're gonna have a rehearsal next Tuesday night. So be kind of a little walkthrough, and so just be prepared for that. We're going to shoot out an email tomorrow, to let you know what to do. And your pitch, you don't have to worry. You don't have to create a pitch deck. You can actually get up and talk, but it's a lot of times it's better if you do use a pitch deck, but you don't really have to in this case. And I really want to thank everybody for applying and trying to get engaged to kind of see what's going on. And so we rewarding everybody who applied to give them access to some of the tools that startups can use. So that I think that's pretty neat, that just by applying, you're actually going to get a reward for it. So that's really, really neat. Thank you all, and we'll see you all for the pitch competition next Thursday.
All right, Lloyd.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, and I didn't check the questions, but I'm assuming, let's see. Yeah, let's see real quick. I guess I don't see any, but yeah, appreciate everybody joining. We'll see you all next week. Thanks,
Okay,
Jesse.
bye-bye.
Right.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.